we need to wrap up here with a conversation about a very important topic,
Yeah.
Which is that this past week we celebrated the 25th anniversary of one of the most important television shows of our time. There is going to be a TV movie about this coming this weekend. We'll talk more about here.
Expose.
Saved by the Bell, 25th anniversary, and we ran a top 25 episodes list. Again, keeping in mind that, yes, we understand that Good Morning Miss Bliss premiered a year before, but Saved by the Bell proper premiered August 20th, I believe, in 1989. Saved by the Bell, why do we still care about Saved by the Bell 25 years later?
I feel like there's too many reasons to enumerate. I mean, the impact on our culture can't be quantified.
The Screech Wars.
You know,
I'll never forget.
I gotta say, like, this is okay. So this is the perfect movie for Lifetime, which is the unauthorized Saved by the Bell expose movie,
which we have not seen yet, but I'm dying to see.
I cannot. I feel like I want us to live tweet it because I feel like it's big enough to deserve.
I'll be on vacation, so I'm not doing that. But go for it.
I'll live tweet
All
it
right.
all by myself. Fine. But I mean, look, I think it's one of those things. Truly, though, that people watch, and it was one of those things that you watched. You didn't even know really why you were watching it. It was not good. It was silly, but it was incredibly addictive.
It was watchable.
It was
really was.
so watchable. It was so easy to watch. But then now, I think that the idea of like looking at them from like behind the curtain of like the machinations that were going on with these kids, whether it's made up or not, and I assume a lot of it's made up. You know,
based on the clips I've seen,
a lot of it's really made up. There's just something funny and hilarious about it.
Yeah, I mean, Saved by the Bell. I was the exact age of those characters in the show. To date myself, they were the class of '93, just like me. It was amazing. And I knew it was a bad show, right? I was like, this is a terrible show. And yet I watched it every Saturday.
And I think that's the question of our time. I think that is the question of our time.
Because there were younger people who didn't watch it maybe on that level, but a lot of us watched it knowing it's bad, and certainly in the years since where it just became the syndication staple and, you know, played every morning on TBS and whatnot. So many of us would watch over. I watched it over and over again. A bad show I knew was bad from the beginning, and yet I'd like, oh yeah, I've seen this episode 10 times, you know?
But there's some kind of, and maybe we'll get to the heart of this in the expose of what kind of like subliminal messaging was coming out to keep you tuned in to Saved by. But it was so easy to watch.
There is an alchemy to good bad TV.
There really is,
because there's unwatchable TV, and Saved by the Bell is not unwatchable, even if it's groan-inducing, you know. Recently the show Teens React did an episode about Saved by the Bell, and it was really interesting actually because it was a pretty big mixture of kids, current teenagers who knew the show very well and those who'd never seen it. So they went, Saved by the Bell, I watch this all the time, which is really funny because it's 25 years old.
They're watching syndication.
Yeah. And then there were kids who'd never seen it, and they were like showing them some of these scenes with like these horrible like stereotypes as far as like the nerds go, and like the pants pulled up all the way. Excuse me, sir. And they're like, everyone's like groaning watching it, and yet
they can't stop.
You keep watching it, right?
And yet they can't stop. I can't wait for this expose. It's like on my calendar. I have it marked off.
Yeah.
It's a thing that's going to happen.
The first clip they released was awesome and hysterical because, again, yes, I'm sure you could say that in theory, in essence, these things happen. Like, did, you know, the guys ever, you know, fight? Did the girls ever get catty over some of the guys? Did the guys ever get competitive? This and that. Were people fighting? Sure. But there's this 2-minute clip they released, which is them doing a photo shoot where every issue they have with each other in 2 minutes is being articulated.
In those 2 minutes.
Yes.
And they're just having, and this is the other thing that's amazing to me about watching that, because like they're having meltdowns while they're supposed to be having this photo shoot.
Right.
And it's like, no, somebody in the production, they're not like Downey, you know what I mean? No. Like, they're not these huge stars that can just
it wasn't all Charlie Sheen.
Run ramshot all over the set. Like, somebody from the production was like, hey, you are so replaceable that it's not even funny. Get it together, Silver Spoons, and like hit your freaking mark and smile. Like, these are child actors that are not going to be melting down like that, you know? And if they are, somebody's going to put them back in line so quickly. Later in life, people become nightmares. You know what I mean? When they really are huge stars. But not then.
No. But isn't it perfect? There's something so perfect about the fact that Lifetime is doing the sensationalized, unrealistic version of such a unrealistic high school show, and hopefully this will be just as watchable.
Oh, it's going to be equally horrible and equally wonderful.
That's right. That's all we can hope for. So thank you, Saved by the Bell, for giving us so much. All right. We are going to wrap it up there. No reader email this week, and let's just get out of the way. There won't be a podcast next week because it's a holiday and there's a vacation I'm doing and all this
You're
stuff.
vacationing.
But please email us, channelsurfing@ign.com. Follow Roth Cornet on Twitter. Follow Eric IGN on Twitter. Like us on Facebook, yada, yada. All that stuff. Shock ma.
Shock ma.